Hello everyone, if you're wondering why I have 5 dots on my arms, don't worry, I'll tell you all about it because today I'm going to share something that might just blow your mind. Which is my recent journey with ayahuasca, a journey that really took me to the edge of reality and back. It was one of the most beautiful yet terrifying experiences of my life, so buckle up because it's going to be a wild ride. I'm also going to share some crucial advice if you're ever curious about ayahuasca for yourself. All things you really need to know about it because this is definitely something I would not recommend to everyone, but more on that later. Oh, and before we begin, please just give this video a little like and subscribe to my channel if you're new for more content on personal transformation. It will only take you 2 seconds, but you have no idea how much that will help me. So, what is ayahuasca? Now, for those who might not know, ayahuasca is a powerful plant medicine traditionally used by the indigenous tribes in the Amazon. And what's crazy is that its use dates back at least 1,000 years, if not longer. It's a brew, so you drink it, and it's made mainly only from 2 plants, the ayahuasca vine and the leaves from the chacruna plant. It's very well known for inducing powerful spiritual and emotional experiences and is often described as a gateway to other dimensions of consciousness, allowing the people that do it to explore their inner worlds and even other worlds in ways that really don't make any logical sense. And its psychoactive properties are primarily due to its DMT content. DMT stands for dimethyltryptamine, and it's one of the most potent hallucinogens known to mankind. And what I find so interesting is that DMT occurs naturally in many plants and animals, including humans. Yes, we produce DMT too, which is insane, and research suggests that this may be the reason why you can have some really deep, profound and transcendental experiences by things like meditation alone. And it's true because some of my deepest experiences that defied both logic and physics happened with nothing but meditation. But now, back to ayahuasca, this is something that even the scientific community took an interest in recent years. People from nearly all walks of life have reported healing from trauma, depression, discovering things about themselves that they never knew, overcoming their deepest fears, healing from physical health issues, just to name a few, and many people also come out of it experiencing a sense of oneness and being one with all that exists, feeling pure unconditional love, and some even talk about encountering spiritual entities and traveling to other dimensions. Now, even though this sounds incredible, it's crucial to approach ayahuasca with lots of caution, because it's not a magic bullet or a quick fix. The journey can be intense, challenging, and sometimes also very scary. It requires a willingness to confront your deepest fears and darkest part of yourself, which brings me now to my experience that I'm really excited to share with you all. So the reason why I decided to do it was pure intuition. I usually never even search for this kind of things, but just out of nowhere I feel such a strong calling and I decided to follow it. Usually in life I learned that when I follow my intuition, it's always very good, so let's do it. And before the ceremony actually started, I took something called Kambo, which I was very skeptical about. I didn't have to do it, but I was there, and it's one of those things that I also heard all kinds of miraculous stories about, so why not? And Kambo is another traditional medicine in the Amazon too, also called the nature vaccine. It's not psychoactive, it's very short, and it's supposed to boost your immune system as it cleanses your entire body, and many people even report healing from bad thoughts, bad habits, and negative personality traits. There's not much research on this, but okay, let's try this too, and quite a few traditions actually recommend it before doing the actual ayahuasca ceremony to get your body ready, so I went for it. And Kambo is the secretion of the giant monkey frog in the Amazon. It's literally the poison they release, and it gets applied onto the small burns on your skin, which is why I have these dots that I showed you at the beginning of the video. And if you're like, what? Yeah, you're right. Imagine me sitting there about to have frog poison. So I get this on my skin, and within minutes I started feeling the effects, and it was so intense. My heart starts racing, my body was shaking, my throat's constricted, really not fun, and then maybe after 10 minutes of pure pain, I threw up, and that's usually what happens. According to these ancient traditions, that's your body's way of purging toxins, both physically and energetically. You can really think of it as a detox on steroids, so instead of like doing your juice cleanses, you just take some frog poison. But interestingly enough, what happened is that right after the purge, I started crying. feeling this release of grief really strong that I honestly didn't know where it was coming from. And after that, I started feeling so much love, and it was crazy. My heart was so open and it was so beautiful, and I was not expecting that at all. And it's not over. After 10 minutes of this intense love attack, wow, I was full of energy. Like I could run 200 miles with no problem. That's how it felt. So really cool experience, but that's definitely something I would not recommend, especially right before ayahuasca, as it's a lot on the body. And it's definitely something that I don't think I would do personally again, but you never know. But okay, that was interesting. But now let's get into the ayahuasca journey. So after I drank it, I sat down and I started meditating. But it hit me right away, and it got super intense, super quick. It all began with myself and the reality around me literally disintegrating, and I got so scared. So I immediately opened my eyes, but it did not stop, and there was no difference between eyes closed or eyes open. Everything was just going away, and I was terrified. It was not pleasant, and I wanted to stop it so bad. And it's funny because I've had such profound experiences with meditation where I was not my body, not me, just this feeling of pure oneness, and it was so beautiful and magical, but this was different. And I literally thought I was going to die. And I was like, I'm not ready for this. I don't think I'm actually ready to die. And I realized something that I really don't think about much, nor I was really aware of, that deep inside, I was truly scared of dying. I was truly scared of saying goodbye to my identity, to Gabriel, to who I am. And so there I was, trying to fight that fear, confronting my own death, and it was overwhelming. I wasn't ready. I really didn't want to die because, guys, I know talking about it doesn't make it seem like so real, but in that moment, I really thought I was going to die. Like I was going to die for real. Then I started feeling everything disintegrating around me even more, including my very sense of self, and I just wanted to ask for help so much, I really remember, but I just couldn't, because I was not even in my body. Eventually, just my body was not there anymore, but not in a good way, because all there was pure fear, united at the same time with everything around me. And when I say everything around me, it's not like I could see perfectly the room I was in. No, I was who knows where. And then, boom, I came back to my body, still in a state of pure fear and terror, and also I was very dizzy, full of nausea, and I was in between worlds. The room I was in definitely was different, and I started seeing things differently, and there were also lots of what I call them cat-like animals all over, maybe pumas or big cats, literally all over the place. But I really try not to focus on them because everything was honestly just so much. And I began to notice my body, but out of nowhere I was out of my body again, but observing my body, and I saw myself in a different way. And if you're familiar with the concept of shadow self, which are all of our parts that we constantly suppress and deny, our very darkest side, I saw that. I was that. It was honestly so scary to witness. The way I was sitting, moving, and breathing, everything was different from me, but it was also so familiar at the same time, and I was terrified because I didn't know I could actually be like that, but there I was, and then boom, I'm in my body again, but now no longer observing that person, I was being that person. And I felt all that pain, the shame, the hurts, I felt it all, and it was so much to handle. I was almost in disbelief, and it was disgusting, but I couldn't do anything. And then the throw up happened, and throwing up or purging is something very common in ayahuasca. It's always going to happen pretty much. Not all the time, but usually most of the times. And it was not a regular throw up for me. It was some of the most painful experiences I've ever had in my life, and it lasted a long time, maybe over 1 hour, but who knows, time was definitely not a thing. And every time I threw up, a scream came out. It was one of the scariest screams I've ever heard, something straight from a horror movie, like a demon witch scream. I don't even know if it makes sense, but it was very scary, and it's very hard to describe it in words. And it literally felt I was vomiting blood. I mean, that's literally what I saw, and even things that I don't even remember, but I was literally vomiting pain and all the bad stuff, and it was so painful, but yet in a strange way so releasing. And since it lasted so long, guys, you have no idea the pain that I felt. But eventually, finally, it stopped, and boom, out of nowhere, my heart was filled with nothing but pure love. I was feeling amazing, pure, unconditional love, and it was so beautiful. I was there, moving with the music, kinda in my body, kinda not. Again, it's so hard to explain it in words, and I was so happy, so blissful, and this feeling in my heart is something that kept returning often throughout the whole journey, which reveals such a beautiful and profound insight that I still knew but never experienced in such a deep way. And you'll see what I mean as I keep going with the story. And then after a while, I started feeling my sense of self completely dissolve again, and I became a cat. Yes, I know it's crazy, and I was kind of observing this from out of the body again, and I was literally observing myself being a cat, and it's kind of funny to think about it now. I was really like moving like this, like a cat, and again, I got terrified. By the way, this is still the part of my journey that I still didn't quite understand why I was being a cat. But anyway, boom, I'm back in my body, and I was still being a cat, like I could not stop it. And it was really interesting because it was very feminine. My body was moving very sensually and very cat-like, and I was like, stop. I wanted to fight it. I didn't like it, and that fear came back, that fear of dying, really that fear that I really think I had, that fear of losing control. And boom, some more throw-up happened, and less painful this time and very short, thank God, and that was the last time I threw up. And then the interesting thing happened because my sense of self disintegrated once more, and I was at one with all of my thoughts, beliefs, everything. I could see it all. I don't know where I was, but I could see all my thoughts. I could see where all they came from, how every single thing was connected in my life, and I was there for I don't know how many hours, having literally thousands of eureka moments, understanding every single thing about myself, my life, the origin of all of my thoughts and beliefs. And I truly felt and understood how we all have so much control of every thought, of everything we do, which is the thing that I teach and the things that I also use to change my life. But this was different. I was literally having a brain surgery, changing literally everything inside of me to non-human levels of speed. Like, this is a thought, oh, this thought came from here, oh, I believe this way because of that, oh, let me change that, boom, and it would change that like instantly. And I really realized, wow, like if we really want, we can actually change anything in an instant, anything. And I felt so empowered. I realized also how every single thing in my life, I created it. I attracted everything, and I already knew this, but I experienced it in such a different way. I just knew that I created it all, the good and the bad, all of it. I just knew it, I saw it, I felt it, and sometimes it got scary as well, but not because of the experience itself, but because it was so much to handle and process for my little human brain. And so I would completely maybe pass out sometimes, and when things started to get too intense or too scary because it was just so much, imagine reading thousands of your thoughts all at once in the past and in the present, so very intense. So every time it got so intense, I start tuning into my heart, and again I got filled with nothing but pure bliss, pure love, and it was so beautiful. And if you're familiar with my work, I'm a big fan of the heart and living with the heart, listening to it, and this whole experience put it all in such a different perspective, because every time it was too much or I started feeling fear again, I would just tune into my heart, and immediately everything disappeared. All the fear, all the pain, and I was like, wow, we are so powerful. And then I started seeing so much of my life, past and future, at the same time, but if I was living with my heart. I started seeing how things would have been different if I lived with my heart, acting from my heart, from a place of love, and started also seeing my future if I keep living with my heart. And it was so powerful, so beautiful. And I truly felt how love is this beautiful force that connects us all, that heals us, and that when we truly love, no darkness, no fear can exist. And so I made such a big decision that I will live like this from now on, no matter what. And then it was a lot of me being in trance, moving with the music, all very nice, and then finally I allowed myself to finally relax and sit back, because I was actually just sitting like this with my back half straight for the whole time, and eventually even lay down, close my eyes, and I drift off in this sleep-like relaxing state, surrendering to all the patterns and visuals around me. And the sun rose eventually, and wow, I knew the journey was ending, and what a journey. And it felt really good that I was back. I was not really fully back yet, but I was getting there. I could feel my body, my hands, and I was like, oh wow, it felt kind of good. And around probably 8 a.m., my journey was over, and wow, it really felt something shifted in me. Definitely all of that brain surgery that I had, definitely I did something, but I definitely got rid of something. I was feeling lighter and different, and I was ready, knowing that the work actually begins now. The work to now integrate and applying it all to my life. So that was my journey, a roller coaster ride through the depths of my psyche, facing my darkest fears and discovering the most beautiful insights about love, life, our minds, and reality. But as transformative as this experience was, it's not something, again, I would recommend lightly or to anybody, and here's why. Ayahuasca is incredibly powerful. It can open doors to parts of your mind and soul that you didn't even know existed. So with great power comes great responsibility. This is not a casual experience or a recreational trip. It's a serious, intense journey that requires proper preparation, a safe environment, and most importantly, a willingness to confront and work through potentially terrifying and painful experiences, because it's going to show it all to you real quick, trust me. I would personally also not recommend ayahuasca to anyone who hasn't done significant work on themselves already. Also, as powerful as it is, you really need to know that it's not a quick fix. Do you know how many people I've met that have done countless 20, 30, 40, hundreds of these ceremonies, and always looking for the next one, always looking for the next thing, or for the next experience, the next this, the next that, and I see them and they still suffer so much and they can't change and they still struggle. So many people. Because the thing is that the real work, the real ceremony begins after you do ayahuasca. It can show you everything, but then you got to do the work, integrating and applying the lessons you learned in your everyday life, every single day. And most people forget to do that. Most people don't do that. Most people just don't do the work. This is why at the end of the day, nothing can stop a consistent meditation practice. It's through meditation and daily self-work that we truly expand our consciousness and bring lasting changes in our life. Now, to end this video, as I reflect back on my ayahuasca journey, I am reminded a lot that true transformation comes not from a single experience, but from the ongoing journey with them. But ayahuasca was able to open my heart and mind to the very depths of my being, revealing both the light and the darkness. It taught me that the greatest power we possess is the power of love, the kind that transcends fear, heals wounds, and connects us all. But it also gave me the tangible proof of the incredible power of our minds, that we have the ability to change our thoughts, beliefs, and reality with so much ease if we actually want to. Every thought, every intention really shapes the world around us, and through this journey, I truly understood it to a whole new level that we are indeed the creators of our own reality. There is so much more to reality that we can see, this vast interconnected web of consciousness that we are all a part of. So let me know in the comments, have you ever done it, or have you ever considered ayahuasca? I love to hear your experience, and if you are considering it, are you ready to face your deepest fears and darkness, and are you prepared, most importantly, to do the work afterward? Also, if you have any questions, just let me know down below. I reply to all comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Remember, the most beautiful journeys in life are always the one within, so dare to explore, face your fears, work to change your reality, and most importantly, live with an open heart.